on a map or any chart of sea. It's right on the border between you and me. Go right at Moronville, left at Cape Fear. If you think you're lost, then you're getting near. I'm going down to claim my crown, King of Confusion Town. Other people live in palaces made of pain. The sun always shines, but inside it rains. They drive in cars made of gold. They never use seatbelts, they wear blindfolds. I'm going down to wear my crown, King of Confusion Town. And when everybody kneels at my shiny cuban heel, on their brows I brand my seal, a burning blue Achilles heel. The only religion is Kung Fu. Nobody laughs, they only spew their hatred of blacks, Arabs and Jews, while they light their barbecues. I'm going down to burn my crown, King of Confusion Town. Yeah, I'm going down to melt my crown, King of Confusion Town, King of Confusion Town. N-O-I-S-U-F-N-O-C. Hello, welcome to Guitar Trek. I am Richard J. Dowling, and you've just listened to The King of Confusion Town. And now I'll tell you a little bit about how I went about composing the song. Last week I did what I thought was one of my best songs, and I wanted to go in a different direction. Well, I always wanted to go in a different direction. I always want to try and do something different. So my original plan was to try and do a Latin American style song, because I'm really into listening to Latin American music at the moment. But I just couldn't come up with anything. I tried a few ideas and it wasn't really, nothing was making me excited. And then I stumbled upon this sort of rockabilly type thing. It's like a Bob Dylan Highway 61 style thing. And it's interesting, I guess, because it's in the A chord, then the D chord, and that would lead you to believe that it's in the key of A, because you'd expect an E major, so you have the 1, 4 and the 5, but because it's sort of a bluesy sound, but I went instead to the G major chord, which if you have the chords D, A and G, then the key supposedly would be D, I guess. So by not going to the typical 5 chord, going to, well, I guess it's a flattened 7th if we're still in the, I don't know, I mean, we're in the key of A, I guess we're in the key of A because I start on A, it feels like it's in A. So it's the, if you think that it's in the key of A, then this would be the flattened 7th, the G major chord. Or you can interpret it as being in the key of D. I don't really, as I say, I don't really think about these things. It just sounds good, and I think it doesn't, because there's a tendency with blues to be, you always have tension between predictability and variety in music. So you want to repeat things so that people enjoy them, you know, verses repeat, choruses repeat, but at the same time, if everything's repetitive, then it gets very, very boring, and you have electronic dance music, which is a bit of a slap down there. No, only joking. The reason I mentioned that was just because I was listening to Chemical Brothers recently, and then I switched to Latin American music, and it was just amazing, the difference between music made by people and music made on computers. It just really, really surprised me that it was, the emotion was there with the Latin American music and with the Chemical Brothers stuff. I mean, yeah, you can see why. Well, I won't go into the whole dance scene in the '90s and stuff, but anyway, my point being that you're trying to balance repetition and variety. So you're trying to bring in new things, but you don't want too many new things because then you lose the harmonious whole. So I don't know where I was going with that really. So yeah, you have. Oh yeah, that was it. Because blues can be quite predictable, and I don't like songs where I know what's going to happen next. I mean, it seems a bit boring. So you try and do something a little bit different. So even just that switching to the G chord instead of the E major chord makes it feel fresh to me. So that was the idea musically. Then the came as a sort of, I guess it's not really a chorus, it's, I don't know, a refrain or something. And then the phrase "I'm going down," it was I'm going down. No, originally what I had originally was I'm on my way to San Jose. But I didn't want to do a song about San Jose. I've never been there. I'm sure it's a very nice place, but I came up with different variations until I'm going down to claim my crown, and it was just what rhymes. It was confusion. I don't know, Confusion Town, and then I thought, oh, Confusion Town sounds nice. I mean, that's sort of where we've been living, I think, certainly for the last year at least. So then I sort of got this idea of somebody who is like the head of this chaotic world. And you go through in the verses. You go through from, in the first verse, it's just like the location. It's got a strange location. It's not on a map. It's between you and me. So it's a strange place to begin with. And then in the second verse, we talk about the people, and their houses are made of pain. It's sunny outside, but inside it rains. It's just a lot of these things. I think I mean, you can interpret these lyrics the way you want to, and I like to leave it a little bit open. But at the same time, my thinking was that a lot of people make their own palace of pain in their household. I mean, you sort of meet people that they seem to be able to find misery in everything, and they just cause problems. I mean, I don't want to get into specifics and naming people, but you meet people that you think, well, you've got 2 legs, 2 arms, you've got food, you've got a roof over your head. What are you complaining about, sort of thing? And given all the problems we've had this year, I think we have to be grateful for the things that we do have, the positive things we have. And anyway, and then in the third verse, it goes in even in darker into sort of racism and these sort of issues. So hopefully there's a sort of a progression in the verses from a mysterious, like, well, what is it? Is it a real place or is it an imaginary place? And then you meet some of the behaviours of the people, like the driving cars made of gold and not wearing seatbelts. There's a local thing here. It's not so bad now, but when I moved here, I'm in Spain, in Coruña. The people didn't used to wear seatbelts, and it was very strange coming from London, where the driving campaigns for clunk click on every trip were sort of so ingrained into your brain that you just assume that everybody wears seatbelts. But no, they didn't wear seatbelts, and if they did, they had this habit of starting the car, driving, and then while they're on the road, attempting to put the seatbelt on. And I always just strikes me as just ludicrous behaviour. So that was where that came from. It just often when you're looking for lyrics, you just sort of rumble around in your head for stuff that you find interesting or that's been nibbling away at your brain. So. It seems like it's planned now, I guess, in some respects, the song. But I mean, it was more a case of just scrabbling around in the dark and trying to put stuff together. But once again, I found that once I have a chorus line or a refrain line, whatever you want to call it, that it becomes a sort of the central concept of the song, and then it becomes very easy to write around that. It's very different if I'm starting with the verse and then trying to come up with a chorus. It seems to, lyric wise, I'm discovering, for me, maybe for you the situation is different, but for me, if I can find the chorus, the concept of the idea, then everything else flows a lot more easily. And one thing I wanted to mention was, it's a great little tip I've picked up. I've been having a lot of problems with my voice recently because I teach. I'm teaching by video conference now for obvious reasons, and singing. I was really getting a lot of throat ache and having problems, with singing, and noticing that my pitch was getting worse, and But so I was hunting around on YouTube and discovered this. This vocal coach. I mean, there's a few vocal coaches that I follow on YouTube. There's one guy called Mark Baxter who's excellent. There's another guy, Jeff Rolker, who does lots of good sort of exercises. And then this other guy I found is, and once again, I haven't done my research before I come online or before I record the video, but is Eric something. I will put the link in the description. And he has this very simple technique where you between your chest and your stomach, there's this little area of, I don't know if it's the solar plexus or something, but he said that when you sing, if you go zzz, you can sort of feel the muscle there tense. It's just below the rib cage. Zzz, and he said that the R sound, that's how you sing. I mean, you keep this muscle sort of not overly but tensed. And I did that and suddenly noticed that it was a lot easier. It's a lot easier to speak as well, and the resonance of the voice seems to change completely. So before it kept on getting trapped in my throat. Now I feel as though the voice is actually in front of my face. It just seems as though it's just coming out very easily. And so I will recommend that to everyone watching. If you're having any issues, try that. Don't take my word for it. Go and check the video out and see if it works for you. But for me, it was an amazing transformation just from one week to the next. And so hopefully you find that useful. And I think that's about it. That's all I wanted to say this week. What have I done now? I've slagged off electronic dance music, which I like. So don't be mad at me if you think I don't like it. There's most music I do like. I mean, it's quite surprising as you get older. The boundaries between different genres become unimportant. I mean, the only things I don't like are, I would say, the extreme sort of heavy metal, death metal, that stuff, and rap. Basically, those are the two areas that I don't really enjoy. But everything else, classical, jazz, even, I get into it. And I've been listening to a lot of music. I've mentioned Latin American. I've been listening to a lot of African music, which I'll probably talk about in further videos, recommended by Connie. Some groups from Zimbabwe, but I don't want to mention it now because I haven't got the names with me, and it would be a horrible embarrassment if I start talking about people and I can't get their names right. So it's something that I think as you get older, it's nice to be able to appreciate a wider range of music, so you have more enjoyment. You can enjoy the things you've always enjoyed, but you can also be trying to find new stuff. And for example, ABBA. I've probably mentioned this in every single video I do, but when I was a kid, I hated ABBA. They were like really cheesy, and now I just think that they're amazingly talented songwriters. The songs are just wonderful. The melodies are so memorable and catchy, but at the same time so fresh sounding. No other group really sounds like ABBA. So it's nice to be able to broaden your horizons. And on that note, I will finish for today. Thank you very much. Thank you all for watching, for commenting, for listening. I really appreciate it. And I had a nice interaction recently on YouTube with X and Y Band. They did a live stream, and I managed to stumble in on it. And it was really nice connecting with people. I think that the internet is a wonderful resource for connecting, in this case, musicians. But it's just nice to feel part of a community of friends. I mean, I joked last week about trying to build my YouTube channel And I am. I would love to have more people watching the videos. But fundamentally, what I like is meeting people and having a laugh or exchanging information. And so, yeah, it's been a blast, actually. It's been nice. And hopefully next week will be even better. Take care. Bye-bye.